conferring of degrees is now in session.
Morning, and please be seated.
Sharon Merwin, Kyle Mathow.
Yes, Sharon!
I admit you, Bachelor of Commerce, honors. Congratulations.
Ashley Nicole Setsuyo Mil, Taylor Mirza.
British Columbia, Canada. I remember my fear of having to live in an igloo and fight off penguins disappearing into mass rather quickly as we traveled by taxi from Vancouver Airport to our rental home in North Vancouver. As a child from South Africa, it was relatively easy to adjust to living in Canada with the opportunities that the safety of Canada provides. After a few years in British Columbia, my father's family sent us to the United States, and then we eventually returned to Canada and settled in Oakville, Ontario, just as I was ready to enter high school. Considering my South African background, it was only natural for my father to encourage me in high school to hang up the shoulder pads, put away the shin guards, pull out the short shorts, and concentrate on rugby. In grade 12, my hard work paid off and I was selected to attend a high school in New Zealand on a rugby scholarship. After 10 months spent playing rugby and going to class in all boys school in New Zealand, I returned home to Canada energized and ready for the next challenge. My experiences through traveling have taught me the valuable lesson of perspective. We must all understand that there's a much larger picture, and our decisions in life have a far-reaching impact on the environment around us. I chose McMaster because of its commitment to developing student-athletes into leaders. My decision to enter the business program was natural given my father's background as an entrepreneur and my interest in accounting and business classes in high school. My involvement with the rugby program here at McMaster has been extremely rewarding, winning an OUA championship in my first year with the varsity program and captaining the team to a second OUA championship in my third year with the team. In addition to rugby, I've had the opportunity to get involved with a number of student-run initiatives around the Group School of Business and various charity initiatives with the rugby team. Sport has obviously been a huge factor in my life, and I believe the greatest lesson one can learn from sport is the ability to handle losing and the ability to persevere through challenging times. We are all sure to be faced with adversity in the years to come. Our experiences the past 4 years has shown us that we cannot always win, but rather we must learn from the challenges that confront us and be excited for the opportunities that new challenges bring. Take a moment. Think back to the year 2006. 4 years ago, the Canadian dollar was trading at 86 cents. Facebook had just received the go-ahead to offer their social networking services to anyone from the age of 13. Apple had not yet introduced their iPhone. Carolina won the Stanley Cup, defeating Edmonton 4 games to 3. And Italy had defeated France to win the Soccer World Cup earlier that summer. 2006 was most of the year we took on the challenge of business school at McMaster University. It feels like just yesterday we were sitting in the gym of the Ivy Wynn Center during our cross week when Dr. Bontis and Dean Bates welcomed us to the School of Business. For some of us, a few days later. For others, could have been a few weeks later. We walked into our first lecture with the confident swagger of a teenager that had just conquered high school and was ready to conquer university, and of course, every kegger along the way. That feeling soon disappeared as we were bombarded with reading lists and midterm dates. We knew that the challenges we were facing in university from that point forward would be far greater than the challenges we had ever faced before. As that first year sailed by, we slowly became accustomed to the pace and demands of university life. We're in our first taste of writing an exam with 500 other people in a gymnasium with squeaky floors and grumpy invigilators. Since that first year, we've all shared the feelings of achievement and at times defeat at the hands of the Group School of Business. If looking for a job wasn't hard enough, we've all been impacted by recent economic events that sent the world economy into a recession. Having to compete for a job in the labor market with a surplus of experienced, unemployed professionals has meant that many of us begin our professional careers with uncertainty. Our ability to succeed in the competitive job market of today will depend on our ability to face the uncertainty with optimism. We can rest assured that with the baby boomer population getting ready to retire in the next few years, the opportunities for us in the future will be tremendous. In light of discussing future opportunities, I would like to just take a moment and discuss performance. After all, as we have learned, our ability to advance in life is dependent on our performance. In today's competitive environment, how does an individual define an acceptable level of performance? In school, we may feel that our performance is measured by a grade point average. As an athlete, my level of performance might be measured on how many tackles I make a game or how many points I score. My mom, she might define my daily performance in respect to whether I make my bed and bring down my washing. Performance in business might be measured on the marginal return we provide to our employers or to investors. As graduating students, we have all managed to balance this.
Guests, faculty, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Special congratulations to the members of the graduating class. And I note that this is the first graduating class from the Masters in Communications Management program, so well done to you. Special congratulations to the award winners, and Mr. Lombard, well done. This year's series of spring convocation ceremonies will be my last as McMaster's President and Vice Chancellor. So writing my convocation address knowing that these opportunities will be my last at this podium, my last with the unparalleled honor of wearing these splendid robes of office, is a daunting task. I have heard and delivered so many addresses at these ceremonies, approaching 180 over the 15 years of my presidency, that it is easy to believe that everything worth saying has already been said. In that light, I consider taking a greatest hits approach, quoting from the best addresses I have heard on this stage and throwing in a quotation or two from some of the great speeches of our time. These days, I suppose they call that a mashup. I even took the time to look up a few of my favorite quotes. There's author H.G. Wells capturing for us the absolutely vital role of a university in a challenging and changing world. Wells wrote that human history becomes more and more a race between education and catastrophe. So think about that. There's the poet W.B. Yeats, who wrote, education is the filling of a pail. It's not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. It's not about being filled up with information, but about developing the passion and the skills for learning and exploiting those skills and that passion for your own development and that of the people and communities that surround you and are influenced by you. There is Jawaharlal Nehru, describing both the humanitarian nature of our ideal aspirations and the price we must pay to fulfill those dreams. Of Gandhi, he wrote, the ambition of the greatest man of our generation has been wipe every tear from every eye. And so we have to labor and to work hard to give reality to our dreams. There's John F. Kennedy, listing the qualities we must gather in ourselves to address our greatest challenges. He said, now the trumpet summons us again, a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in and year out, rejoicing in hope, patience in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war. There's Robert Fulghum, giving some of the best advice for survival. When you go out into the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands and stick together. And then there is the legendary Ronnie Hawkins, country rock icon of my undergraduate pub scene. I can't believe I used to dance on the stage of the Concord Tavern when I had a couple. He's saying, sometimes it's wise to know which way the car is going before you put your pedal down to the floor. That nugget of wisdom, by the way, is from Ronnie's classic album, Shakespeare My Butt. So that was my plan, until I realized that offering quotations and referencing other speeches would put the focus on the address itself, when in fact this time on this stage at this podium is not mine, nor does it belong to Wells or Yeats or Kennedy or Nehru or even Fulghum or Hawkins. No, this is your time. These words are yours. or whatever else happens at a McMaster convocation ceremony, the departure or installation of a new president, the granting of awards or honorary degrees, convocation ceremony is at its heart about the graduates. So I asked myself, what do you need to hear? How can I make my few minutes at this podium worthwhile for you? And here is what I have come up with. These are the things you need to know. First, buy a suit. Some of you already have done that, and I'm glad you anticipated my advice.